Hi, Neil.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Very good. Nice to have you on here. Thank you for joining me.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So for anybody tuning in today, I'm chatting to Neil Crawford. Neil is an old friend of ours, and he is a photographer, videographer. You've helped us on lots of photo shoots, and you fly drones as well.
I do indeed, yes.
Yeah. So do you want to give us just a little bit of background about your business? And I know I've said sort of briefly what you do, but maybe explain a little bit more.
Okay. Well, pretty much you've covered it in a nutshell. So I started off being applying to do my official qualification to be a drone pilot. So that really kind of evolved and grew legs as the more I kind of got into the media world. It was onto video production and then onto photography. And I've always taken photos and you know, very much been into art and all that. So I've got kind of a good eye for it. But yeah, so it just kind of grew arms and legs. But the first kind of passion was flying drones. So even as a wee kid, I've always been into aviation and all that kind of thing. So and it was when was that? 2015, I think, around about then, when I first went and got my qualification. And that was kind of ahead of the curve, really, before people had really heard about drones. And, you know, it was just starting to come to the surface, you know. So going around, I think you were one of the first people that were susceptible to the idea of it, you know, and going, oh, it really does, you know, you can get a better advantage from it. And nowadays it's, you know, when I started, I was something like 420th, something like that, 420 people, and now there's thousands. But
do you mean you were registered as official drone pilots?
Yeah. So it was, I was the company that I qualified with is a company called Rusta, and they're all made up of ex-RAF guys. They know their stuff. You sit up straight in the classroom, but they're really good guys. But yeah, that was their 12th. I was on their 12th course, and now they're in their 100th now. So.
And explain this briefly for people who might not know. Not anybody can just buy a proper drone, fly it, and take pictures. There are restrictions for why people have to become proper commercial drone pilots.
Yeah, in order to use your drone commercially, at the moment, you need what's called a PFCO, a permission for commercial operation. If you don't have that, you can't make any money, or you can't take any favors or that kind of thing, any exchange. So the difference being that when it's probably easier to go through the actual training thing. You go through a 3-day ground school, and they teach you all about the weather and about safety and how to, you know, perform operationally in a way that is safety. Safety is number one. So when you explain that, I mean, I know some drone pilots that do it recreationally, and they really go back in their heels when you realize the work involved. Because, you know, you have to do obviously a risk assessment and ask for permission from where you're flying and all this kind of thing. So it's quite involved. But you know, you can't just, I mean, you can certainly fly recreationally, but then they don't tend to follow. There's even guidelines for your recreational user, because the airspace is kind of controlled as well. It's all that kind of thing, like understanding what they call TAFs and METARs and all this kind of thing, which is not to get too technical, but it's basically like your air traffic control. So a regular pilot or helicopter pilot would look at these and its weather forecasts for what's happening right now and what's happening in the future, and again, planning for the safest operation.
Yeah. And what has been like during lockdown for you? Are you still doing jobs with the drone, or is that not possible now?
No, it's not possible now. Everybody's been grounded, with the exception of emergency services, as far as I'm aware. So I have seen 1 or 2 drone things for, you know, like forest fires and stuff like that. But that, you know, it's obviously with permission. But certainly for commercial operations or even recreational, you're not supposed to be flying your drone at the moment. So everybody's, drone pilots basically are constantly looking up at the sky, going, "Is it dry? Is it dry?" Because living in Britain and Scotland, so it's nice to see when it's not raining and you can actually get out there and fly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what I might do is in the comment section, I maybe send a little link to one of the videos you've done for us, where you've flown the drone over Crofts of Crom Lakes or one of the properties we have sold, because the vantage point you get, they're absolutely fantastic, aren't they? I mean, there's nothing like flying the drone and having that perspective.
I mean, that's one of the things where, when I go in and do not so much a sales pitch, but, the response I get from people when they do it, and from some of your clients as well, and they're saying, "I've lived here for 35 years and I've never seen my house or my street or my town from that angle." And people are just slack-jawed, they're like, "Wow, that's amazing," and they don't realize, "Oh, that's just over there, but there's a big row of hedges or something," But I mean, there's one I prepared earlier. There was one that I did for my first started out, and it was up at the Cathedral, and I don't think I was in a cold. I can't remember when I was in November or something. But everybody's seen the Cathedral 1,000 times, but nobody's seen it from that angle. I mean, I've lived in Dunblane since 1984, and I've never been up that high. So for me to see it, I'm like, oh wow, it's nice, and that's the advantage, because people go, "Oh," and they feel special, So when you're selling their house, they're like, and you show them a video, and they think, "Wow," it gives it a cinematic feel as well,
Yeah, absolutely. And you often stitch these together with the video you do inside the house as well, yeah?
Yeah. So the whole idea is you're telling a story, so people are more receptive to stories. Not, are you sitting comfortably kind of thing, but subconsciously, when you take them on a journey, is probably the easiest way to describe it. So and it can be as simple as just navigating around the house and all that, but you're in control of what you want them to see, not in a not that you're covering anything up, but you're highlighting the best points. Because sometimes you get a picture of a house and it looks fantastic, and I'm like, but there's rolling hills and there's a river and you can't see that. But you fire the drone up and you're like, wow, you see the property in context. So to then go into the house and do a tour around the house is it's the kind of modern way now. But people, there's different technologies. I've kind of evolved with the technology as well as it came out. I mean, you get your DJI Osmos. I've got a gimbal, and then it comes down to the lenses, and go, I can use a better lens. I can use my DSLR, the big camera, like that. Maybe not a size lens, but so then the new ones now are the Ronins and made by DJI. All the same people that make that drone. And they've got the technology for it now. So to do a smooth kind of tour through the house, a lot of people really are susceptible to that. They really engage with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've seen the difference between sort of trying a DIY style as well. When I go around with my iPhone, and I try to hold it steady, or just having you going around with the proper equipment. Of course, that stuff costs proper money as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I eat beans and toast regularly. No, every photographer goes, "Oh, I need that lens, I need that camera, but yeah, it's not cheap, but the results for what you get is incredible. But there's like a running kind of joke. I'm in lots of like forums and stuff on Facebook with real estate photographers from all around the world. And the new iPhone came out, and it's got the amazing camera and widescreen, and people are saying, I think I'm going to use my iPhone, and every photographer's going, oh, come on, they take nice pictures, but the difference with it's not just the quality of the image. Like you can't really sell. It used to be like 10 years ago, you could sell with it's in HD, high definition, and even the most basic phone films in HD, and that's good enough for for the internet. And when you talk about 4K and all that, unless you're, most people aren't viewing it in 4K, so it's quite it's a moot point now. But what the main kind of thing is knowing what to do, the angle, the composition, the light, and you see, how many times do you see a photo like that and you go, oh yeah, that's okay, and then you move down a wee bit and you've got to put something in the foreground. And I saw a guy, there's a professional guy, one of the top guys in California, and he was talking all about how when you look at an image, it leads, the composition obviously, leads your eye. So again, it's telling a story. So even in a still image, you're telling a story. You're telling the eye where to go, highlighting the main points and all that, navigating through the picture. And it's basically, you are helping the viewer digest the picture. So it's that kind of knowledge. And a lot of that comes in the post-processing as well, where, you see the amateur ones and they crank up the brightness, and it looks like a nuclear winter, the grass is like glowing, and you go, whoa. But you can change the sky replacements and all that, which comes in very, very handy in Scotland with our famous overcast. But you can put in a blue sky, and there's lots of little touches you can do to make it the best, present the property in the best version possible.
Yeah. Don't give all those secrets away.
I know. Yeah. I was like, oh, geez.
Yeah. And so now that the drones can't fly and you can't take any pictures, at least inside in properties, what else keeps you busy during lockdown?
Paint. I have been painting. I've been doing a lot of DIY. I think I
thought you were going to talk about your girlfriend now.
Say again?
I thought you were going to talk about your girlfriend now, but you're going to painting.
Yeah, she was my first employee, so she handed her a paintbrush. No, she was great. She was over. For your viewers, she's from America, so she was. It's probably the safest place to be when you look at America now, and won't get too political. But yeah, so Jessica was over for 6 weeks, maybe. Just went back there on Thursday. But yeah, so my porch looked like an outpost in Siberia. It was sanded down and painted again. So I'm feeling quite house proud now. So and I've cutting the grass and painting the fences and all sorts. So it's good. It's good. I think you go out now and break when it's usually quiet, but you hear all the lawnmowers going again and all that. It's nice that people sanding and nailing stuff, fixing things that you've walked past for years, and you go, now's the time,
And is the just while you mentioned Breako, is the little cafe open for takeaways, or are they closed at the moment?
The what? Sorry.
The little cafe on the high street. The
shop or I should have narrowed that one down. No, I believe it's closed at the moment. Once it's open, I'll be there for a square sausage and a coffee. But it's funny it's been open a few years now, and then when you get it taken away again, you go, oh. It was a real focus. It was a buzz, And Raj downstairs in the shop has been a superhero. He's really looked after people and all that. So it's been nice, and I think everybody's giving him the recognition. I just live diagonally above the shop, so you hear people. When you're having your breakfast, hi Raj, how you doing? So it's nice. Everybody's friendly.
And your parents are in Dunblane still, aren't they?
Yes.
Do you see them or your dog, or what's happening there?
My dog. You can probably see my dog there. That's a mirror image. That's Blue. Yeah, he's more famous than anyone in Dunblane, I think. People come up to me and say, "Oh, it's Blue," and I was like, "I've never seen you in my life," but they know the dog. But so my mum and dad are home, and they've been under strict instruction. I'm the youngest of four, and my sister lives in Australia, my brother lives in Berlin, and my other sister lives in Leith in Edinburgh. So I'm obviously the closest, and so I'm checking in on them. So they're under strict instructions. You can walk the dog and that's it, But yeah, I've been taking food round to them, socially distancing, of course. And then as a reward, I get to see Blue because he's I'm his favourite. They don't like to admit it, but I'm his favourite. Yeah.
I've got a feeling after this live stream, you'll also be famous, not just your dog.
I'll need the dog with me.
Judging by the number of likes we're getting here, and there is quite a few live views as well. So that's fun to see.
Maybe I should have done my hair. Yeah.
Hey, we're hitting the 15 minutes, and before we disappear from this call, if people want to contact you, where can they best find you? Is it Facebook or website, or do they need to give you a ring, or?
All of the above. Probably, I've just over the past year kind of been developing my website, so that's crawforddigitalmedia.com. If you can't remember all that, you can go to the Facebook page, and there's a link on there as well as my phone number. So yeah, you can WhatsApp me, you can phone me, you can email me, and there's no, if you just want to have a chat about, for whatever you need, because my skills are always developing in different aspects. I mean, with photography, there's so many different types of photography. So, I was looking into corporate headshots and even, family shots and all that kind of thing. So, and you'll find that photographers maybe started out doing that, and then they evolve into different areas. So yeah, that will be kind of unveiled. I kind of unveiled it there, but given time,
your equipment, you can use it in different settings, so it doesn't always have to be just property photography. You can apply it to other things too.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I've done some work with a local business, Chris, with Intelligent Displays. They'll kind of product photography or headshots or that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, I bought some extra gear, and then the principles of light and shaping what you're doing is much the same. But yeah. So anyway, sorry, I'm blathering on.
That's right.
People can, nobody's going anywhere anyway, so people can contact me through Facebook or Messenger or whatever. And it's just if they're curious or if they've got a business or they need something that they think can, they've got to ask themselves, you got a lot of people say, oh, it's not in my budget. And I said, well, everybody has a certain marketing budget, but you got to look at where people's attention's going these days, and it's everybody's looking at the phone, aren't they? So, that's video is the number one thing that's going to take over. Or it pretty much has, but yeah.
No, you're definitely right. Super. And I think if we continue this series after lockdown, we'll probably have to rename it, but we'll definitely bring you back and we talk a little bit more drone, because I think it's an absolutely fantastic topic and it's so exciting. And we're going to try and link to some of your footage there as well.
That'd be great. Yeah. Leave your feedback. Any viewers, tell me what you think, what I can improve on, what you like, so it helps me refine my skills as well when I go, oh, that's popular, that's not. Excellent.
Fantastic. Sounds good. Thanks so much for your time. I stopped the recording. If you want to stay on for a second, we can have another quick chat. But thanks everybody for watching, and thanks for your time, Neil.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone.